Welcome to our presentation on Secure Internet with Menlo Security. My name is James, and I'll be your guide for a quick overview of our product. The success of our cloud proxy and isolation platform have allowed us to partner with 8 of the 10 largest global banks and be designated visionary by Gartner in their Magic Quadrant for secure web gateways. And one of the reasons we've done so well in the last 7 years is that cyber attacks have become more effective than they have ever been, and people need protection. 28% of data breaches involve malware. 71% often are motivated by money alone, and almost 40% are being executed by cyber criminal gangs. And a single attack can be brutal. The cost of a breach is almost $4 million on average per successful attack. In 2019, Menlo prevented over 1,000 phishing attacks in 6 months, working with a single partner. That's over $4 billion of cost that Menlo Security has potentially prevented from going into the hands of bad guys. We've done this by pointing an entire business's traffic to a single point in the cloud, and then protecting that single point with cloud-based isolation. And with that, we can introduce Secure Internet from Menlo Security. By combining our cloud proxy and isolation technologies, it allows us to provide malware-free browsing without lag for every worker in your organization, no matter where they are. Now, a quick word on the difference between Secure Internet and Cloud Proxy. With Cloud Proxy, we allow you to allow or block potentially dangerous traffic. But this mainly works for known good or known bad websites. Isolation allows us to expand those options to include isolate and isolate plus read only. This allows us to provide protection without having to assess good or bad websites. Any malicious activity that happens occurs in our isolated cloud space away from the end user. We rewrite web code in the cloud before it enters your system, allowing you to safely view mirrored, inactive content on end devices. Active content, which may contain malware, never leaves the cloud. Our technology also stops phishing by placing suspicious websites into a read-only mode to prevent users from entering sensitive information into fake websites. The read-only banner at the bottom of the fake website was placed there by Menlo and indicates that the site is unsafe. Now, let's be specific about the types of protection beyond just web-borne threats. We prevent watering hole attacks, whereby an attacker will infect a website that specific users are known to visit. And we also prevent drive-by downloads, so that users can safely browse the internet without the fear of unwanted file downloads. Companies that want to adopt Secure Internet often are looking to achieve one of the 3 main goals. First, safe, malware, and phishing-free browsing for the entire workforce. 2, help accelerating their remote worker deployments to promote fast browsing access. And 3, for companies looking to have greater visibility into their network. And as we zoom out to view our entire technology stack, it allows us to show how Secure Internet is part of a larger suite of products designed to protect and connect WANs across the globe. Secure Internet is our secure web gateway. Secure Office 365 and Secure G Suite are deep SaaS integrations with email isolation. And Cloud DLP is an add-on to any other product. Let's take a moment to review the features that make Secure Internet the most enduring part of Menlo Security's ecosystem. Connect, protect, and manage access to the network by using our cloud proxy for network security. Prevent attacks by blocking users from visiting specific sites by address, domain, or category with URL filtering. And throttle streaming sites like YouTube to reduce non-work bandwidth consumption. Protect your network from all web-borne malware and ransomware attacks. As stated earlier, our isolation core works by rewriting incoming web code in the cloud to strip it of active content which might contain malware. We then mirror that content safely to end devices. Please note that isolation does not prevent against attacks by USB sticks or other more physical methods. Go deeper into insights with our reporting and analytics tools. We help you analyze data with pre-built or custom queries. We also provide API for further data integrations. Our Cloud Data Loss Prevention Service, or Cloud DLP, stops data from leaving the company through the web. The software determines whether the content conforms to certain standards deemed sensitive by the company, and then blocks the data transfers and notifies IT. This helps you comply with HIPAA, PCI, and GDPR standards. Our cloud proxy helps you connect to the internet backbone with direct-to-internet connectivity for your entire network. Direct-to-internet connectivity allows SaaS apps in enterprises to run at full speed compared to traditional architectures, which limit the number of persistent connections and forces end devices to access the internet by traveling great distances back to headquarters. Inspect and remove malware and encrypted traffic with SSL inspection, and block traffic based on source or destination IP address, and set default rules for opening encrypted documents. And finally, we help connect your SD-WAN implementation to our isolation service. We make it as easy as we can. Importantly, the experience is invisible to the end user. And with that, let's take a moment to hop into the demo. See you in a sec. And now we have the Menlo dashboard. Our theme today is granularity and scope. It will come up often in the presentation, and if you have participated in other sessions, you may have heard this before. The graphs are movable and allow you to travel backward up to 30 days to view the attacks encountered by your network. Now let's look at all the threats that have been visible and prevented by Menlo Security during that time frame. To read our pie graphs, start to where the noon hour hand would be and read clockwise. Flash, uncategorized sites, risky files, and phishing. Now, a Verizon study found that phishing accounts for 92% of attacks globally. So let's click on phishing to get a good idea of the types of attacks prevented by our system. And drilling down, we can see every prevented phishing attempt on the network in the last 30 days. Once a request is logged, you can then see the attempt by user. Now for a single user, let's drill down to the spreadsheet log. To the right, you see the Edit button. And this allows us to set policy by domain, threat type, user agent, browser, and more. Let's set this domain to isolate and read only. Save, and then publish. For users interested in granular access control for every network user, Menlo Security provides the management tools you need to secure your system. And something that I would like to point out is that all of this is done from the Logs panel. Now that we've learned to drill down, let's zoom out to the main page dashboard to talk about scope. On the overview page, we can see the top navigation panel that hits at many of our cloud proxy features that are shared across the ecosystem. Specifically, the dashboard tabs of threat, traffic, and bandwidth analysis are related to our cloud proxy. The email analysis and traffic tabs are related to Secure G Suite and Secure Office 365 products. DLP analysis relates to our DLP product. To the left, we have our side panel, and a quick disclaimer, I'm working from a fully loaded dashboard as of April 2020, so depending on your deployment, some of these features may or may not be visible. The product tabs on the side panel are Web, Email, and DLP Policy. Logs, insights, and reporting are very useful to understand the health of your system. Let's go to the logs real quick. And as a reminder, we earlier went here to modify some of our user settings. The Insights tab is where you build SQL-like queries that you can use for reporting. This one is done weekly. And to view those reports, we go to Reporting and Risk Report, where we can download or see it in HTML. Now, returning to the idea of scope, let's head to web policy and imagine a world where we'd like to protect our users by applying policies that limit their exposure to web-based threats. Now, let's say we want to protect against a category of BitTorrent and peer-to-peer sites because they've been known to be vectors of malware and credential phishing. With Menlo, we help you block the site outright. Or, with Secure Internet, you have the ability and the option to isolate and place the site into read-only mode. Let's go down to the sites that we want to restrict, and we are looking for peer-to-peer sites. Here we go. Currently, they are allowed. Let's go ahead and not block them outright, but select Isolate and Read Only. Save changes. And finally, publish. That's it. We've created a policy for all users that places peer-to-peer sites into isolation's read-only mode. The ability to deploy a feature is something every cloud proxy has, but the ability to deploy a feature as protective as cloud-based isolation is a game changer. But this also extends to web apps. Are users' browsers out of date? Well, you have the option to block them. And for SSL encryption, you can add new exceptions to the rule based on the type of traffic. For example, we want to make sure that our Zendesk traffic, Mozilla, or other files that we know we can trust are allowed to pass through. Starting to get an assault of booby-trapped spreadsheets, we head to Docs and Files. The same type of policy and rules can apply to engineering docs, presentation docs, and docs with extensions that have specific productivity needs, for example with MS Project or Microsoft OneNote. And the important thing to remember about this is scope. The breadth of the protective services and our global scope makes us an excellent choice for every company. We skipped over how to point the browser to our proxy, so we'll go ahead and cover that now. We'll set up two browsers. The one to the left is our Chrome browser. That is directly connecting to the internet. And the one to the right is our Menlo browser in orange that's going through our Menlo cloud. To set up the proxy, what we'll want to do is get the proxy address. This is the internet address that is the location of the proxy in the cloud. For here, I have one already loaded. But if you would like to find it in the dashboard, you can go to Settings, Proxy Auto Config. And in this case, we are using the standard definition that's located right here. Go to Network Settings. It's currently set to not proxy. Let's go ahead and set it to automatically go to our proxy servers here, and then click OK. And that's it. We have now isolated the browser to the right in orange. And to the left, this is an unisolated browser. So what this allows us to do is to show you back to back what happens when we go to the different pages. So for now, let's open up another tab and go to PBS. As you can see visually, there's nothing truly different about these pages. Now, the thing that really makes us different and amazing is what happens under the hood. Let's view the page source code. We have our isolated browser, which manages to condense the code to about 1/12 the size of the original HTML. But that's not the impressive part. The impressive part is what we do to stop malware. So let's go ahead and see this thing in motion. There happens to be a well-known source from which to test malware, and we are going to do that now. Over here to the right, we can open up this malware test file. Please note this is a test demonstration only, and if you are doing this on your own machine, please make sure you have Menlo installed. Otherwise, you may be opening yourself up to a particularly difficult situation to remove this. We go down here, and we download the piece of malware. Now we've scanned the file. And lo and behold, as it turns out, this active piece of malware was detected in our system and prevented at the cloud layer. Now, while there are differences between the site on the right and the site on the left, this being the authentic Chase site, someone who is going particularly fast may accidentally enter their information here, and that could potentially put the entire company and certainly that individual's personal information at risk. And with that, let's head back into the slide deck presentation. Now let's wrap things up with a review of our product suite. Our Cloud Proxy and Isolation Core form the basis of many of our services here at Menlo Security. Cloud Proxy is the foundation of Menlo, and that allows us to unite an entire company's traffic to a single point where we can then secure that point. We can then protect your network with our Secure Web Gateway, which features our Isolation Core. Each of our products, from Secure Internet, Secure Office 365, Secure G Suite, and more, are built upon our Cloud Proxy and Isolation Core. Our Cloud Data Loss Prevention product, or Cloud DLP, can then be added to any product or service. That's it for today, and thank you very much for attending this on-demand presentation. If you would like to talk with us more, please call the number on your screen or email us. We have additional resources about each of our products at our resource page, and if you would like to attend additional webinars, please continue with the link provided on your screen there.